What's up, guys? Welcome back to the JP and Trav Show on the JP and Trav Show YouTube channel. As always, it's your host with the most, JP. And to my right, I have my esteemed co-host, friend, brother, and guest. I guess not guest. What am I saying? Co-host, Travis J. Davison. Travis, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. A little bummed about the basketball game last night,
Yeah.
but 27 out of 27 signed, all by 11 a.m. Now they can do full court press on trying to get some flips. And yeah, you've already got 7 kids practicing today that are early enrollees, ready to show up and work. I think Brent Venables building something special, man. No doubt. How are you doing?
I'm all right, man. I had a game tonight. Most of you guys know I'm a basketball coach, and we didn't play well. I don't go very deep in my bench. I only go 6 deep, unfortunately. Just one of those years, and just not a fun loss. Missed 15 free throws
Ooh.
as a team, so there's that. So I'm just stewing on it a little bit, but I'm just glad I get to be here with y'all, my brother Trav, and you guys, and talk a little bit of OU football, get my mind off of it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody in the chat.
Yes,
Got Cop Ahead, got Kimberly, Boomer129, Trap House. Everybody joining us tonight. We appreciate you guys as always. Stephen G, what's up? So yeah, man. What do you want to start with? You want to start with signing day?
Yeah, let's hit that real quick. Sign Seal delivered, as you said, 27 of 27. It was a really nice recruiting class. Best defensive line class since, what? I don't want to
20
say
years.
since Gerald McCoy. I mean, I'm over almost 20 years.
Yep, 20 years. Still has a chance to get better too.
Yeah, absolutely, it does. So, just super excited about what Brent Venables is doing. 3 straight top 10 recruiting classes, right? Yeah, just a lot to be excited about. What are your thoughts?
Man, really, what it comes down to for me really is the lack of drama. You're seeing it all across, especially these days, with as social media continues to be the most important thing, seemingly to a lot of these kids. NIL is big time for these people. You had people trying to fend off big offers for people. At the last minute, Jeremiah Smith didn't sign till real late or didn't send in his paper real late because he wanted to make sure that his NIL payments were set up appropriately. Like that kind of stuff, that's just the new way of the world. And it wasn't that way at Oklahoma. It was guys were locked in. They were ready. A lot of guys were already in town trying to get ready for bowl practice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally the guys, they signed and then they went to the facility once their paperwork was processed, went to the facility and weighed in, did their physical, did all that just so they could start practice. And they're practicing today. Just incredible. And it really feels like this whole class is on the same page. And I think that's what's most important. Not a lot of divas down the stretch, anything like that. I mean, heck, Taylor Tatum waited to sign till 11 and everybody was like, oh, he's playing games. No, bro, he just waited to sign till 11 a.m. That was our last dude in. Like,
good Lord.
So anyways, exciting stuff. It's a big class, 27. Obviously, you've got, I believe, 5 walk-ons as well. Dax Knowles, Liam Evans, Andy Bass, Bergen Kaiser, and Ace Hodges. So you got 5 PWOs on top of 27, scholarship players. It's a lot of dudes, man. It's a lot of dudes. And then hopefully now that we're past that, start to see a couple of those transfer portal commitments come through as well. What about you? What stuck out to you?
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, just really as I was talking about earlier, defensive line class is just so tantalizing when you look at it. You look at Nigel Smith. You look at David Stone, Jaden Jackson. These are guys who are going to be able to anchor our defensive line for years to come. You talk about a Wyatt Gilmore, who's a little bit of a sneaky prospect out of Minnesota. Those
friend of the show, Wyatt Gilmore, friend of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Wyatt Gilmore, friend of the show. So yeah, you might as well come in here. You talking on
I
as
know.
in the chat.
Grace is hopping in the chat from the other room.
Yeah, she's here. She could come in the room and be on the show. But
Hey,
anyways, yeah,
Zingy came by to drop the like. We appreciate you,
I,
Zingy.
I appreciate that.
Need to get over 100 likes tonight. That's the goal.
100%. Got to make sure you share this as well. Get everybody in here. As we continue to talk about the signing day, and we'll talk about the Alamo Bowl here in a second. But yeah, really excited about that. Love the wide receivers that we have. Love Kearney. Love Ragens as well. Tons of speed that I know that Coach Jones is going to be able to use really well. Obviously, love getting Eddie Pierre Lewis. As we saw him commit and then sign.
I think it's back to Louis, by the way.
Is it Louis?
It's all right. So it's all over the place.
Yeah.
It was Eddie Pierre Louis, which having
Louis?
Pierre in your name would suggest that it's Louis. It's French,
Yeah.
right? Pierre
French.
Louis.
Yeah.
Like it's French. But then everybody was like, well, it's Louis. So then we start going back. And then I'm pretty sure in his press conference, Brent Venables said Eddie Pierre Louise. So I don't know, man. It's according to the pronunciation guide, it is Louis. So Eddie Pierre Louis.
Like it. But yeah, man, I'm excited about this class. I think, again, we're going to start to see some build up here by Brent Venables with these classes he stacked as well as the transfer portal. Defensive line class, you can't ask for a lot more going into the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you want, right? Because you've got instant contributor guys. I think that at least they'll be rotational guys. David Stone, obviously, Jaden Jackson, Nigel Smith, Wyatt Gilmore, Danny Okoye, obviously showed out in the All-American or the Army, the U.S. Army Bowl is what they call it. And then you get obviously your two most productive or most impactful interior defensive linemen back in Dejon Terry and Jacob Lacey, and then you probably get two more in the portal. So add to that, let's see if we can flip Dominic McKinley. Let's see if we can flip Dalen Evans, a couple of Texas A&M commits. And, I mean, the defensive line is going to be in good shape for a while.
Yeah. A long time. That's for sure. I like it. Hey, we talked about I wanted to bring this up for a hot second just because the last 24 or so hours it's kind of been a hotter topic. Last time we were on here, a lot of people were coming at one Dylan Gabriel about the whole Caden situation, and I really don't want to touch on that part of it that much. That is what it is, but man, how hilarious was it seeing Dylan's Twitter the last 48 hours?
Yeah, I mean it's been fun. Of course, I was heavily in DG's corner, and I'm glad Scoop did a good job on kind of extending that olive branch, getting him on the pod. Obviously, having him on with Eddie and George, that was really cool. So I've never seen anybody go from beloved among the Sooner fan base to traitorous, forgotten by the OU Sooner fan base, and then made it all the way back to good. I would be shocked if anybody can put anybody in the comments. I'd be surprised. Anybody who went from in the good graces to shunned to back into the good graces, it would be impressive. But yeah, his interview was cool, and I can't wait to watch him play at Oregon. And he understands. If you watch that interview, he understands. It's Jackson Arnold's program now, and that's fine.
Yeah. He's a good dude. He's a good dude, and ultimately, we need to show him some, just respect and appreciation for what he did, and let's go support my work. Class act.
Yeah, I mean he handled everything the right way. I don't think he ought to get into coaching right after he plays at Oregon.
Yeah.
Quick sneeze there. Ooh boy, but yeah, they're just we need football because
Man,
OU Twitter we like to get a little dramatic from time to time.
Travis. And that's the thing I don't understand. Like me and you both had
Thank you, Grace.
to make and address. I feel like OU X or because it's not Twitter anymore. I guess whatever.
I will never call it X. Like I will never call it X.
It's still Twitter. It still functions like Twitter.
If I ever run into somebody and I mention Twitter and they don't know what I'm talking about, then I might consider a change.
Yeah.
But everybody knows what I'm talking about. That's like when people are like, where do the Lakers play? The Staples Center. Well, no, it's not the Staples Center anymore. Okay, but do you know what I'm referencing? Like, is it communicative? Is it efficient and conversational? Do you have to ask what I meant by it? No, you don't. When I say Twitter, you know what I'm talking about. Man, we got your sister and your wife on here. It's a family affair, man.
They are just razzing me right now. Can y'all be kind? But anyways, yeah. Travis and I both had to this week, like, because I think we've talked about this, like, sometimes it's like we weigh, do we really need to tweet as much on certain things as we do? Because like Travis obviously is close to 30,000, I'm closing in on 10, and it's like on one hand we can't tweet like we used to, maybe when we were smaller accounts, and I've obviously I'm more on that till even than Travis been up there for a while. But like when I first started on Twitter, OU Twitter, like I could tweet a lot of stuff and like it really didn't matter. I could get in a bunch of arguments, but then like the more like, kind of if you want to say platform or whatever, and I take it seriously, I think Trav does too, then like we think about what we tweet. And so like then it gets into this like while we can't tell people what to do, and that's not our goal per se, I also feel like we both feel like we have a platform and a voice to be able to say something towards OU Twitter because we are a piece of it and we know that people follow us. And so like when OU Twitter is getting like legitimately out of hand, not like stupid stuff, like everybody can say anything, but like everybody knows OU Twitter is a thing. It's not like, oh, every fan base has their nuts. Yes, every fan base has their nuts, but OU Twitter is like, it's a legit thing. Like it's a legit thing that people talk about outside of Oklahoma.
It's also very big. We have 700,000 followers that are on just OU football. So you just have a lot of people, and it is what it is. The reason, I mean, Missouri football, what do they got? 50,000 likes probably on their football page.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could be 100,000. Could be 200,000. I don't know. The point is, it's a hell of a lot less than 700,000. So you basically have and you don't have very many people using their own name or their own picture.
Yeah.
Like Maggie does, Brett does. After that, like it's really not like I never see any like I don't know if Missouri can support like full blown just Missouri media. Granted, they have the Chiefs there, they have the Blues, they have other they have other stuff in and around their area who you should cover multiple things, but like I feel like the Show Me Zoos of the world and the King Wineries of the world and all these dudes that are just like not tweeting from a place of honesty, which is okay. I'm myself. Here's my name. Here's my face.
Yep.
Like I don't know. I tend to take them less seriously, and I take it less seriously even among the OU fan base. And not to say I love people any less, but like if I'm coming to a conversation and you know where I work, you know what I look like, you know my name, everything like that, and you aren't willing to at least meet me halfway on any of that stuff, then I can't assume that you're, having any discussions in any type of good faith. But
Yeah.
but hey, as long as we're as loud in the stadium as we are on Twitter,
That's
as
fine.
long as all those people want to show up and support the basketball team, if they want to show up and support the baseball team, softball already sells out, so they don't need any more help. But like, let's be known for that. Like when all these SEC teams come to play us in basketball, to play us in baseball, something like that. Like, I don't want them to think of our entire fan base as, oh, they sure tweet a lot, but we go to their games and we outnumber them.
Facts. That's a fact, man.
Like
Twitter
that's
haters.
that's where it gets a little tough.
Yeah. Yeah. And ultimately, like I said, and I'll wrap it up here and we can move on. I know we don't want to talk about this all night, but like main point I was saying is like when it gets to the point where like we felt like as voices, if you will, like we have to say something about like, yo, we're being a little bit much. Like when we start to talk about people's real life stuff, like and us going and I get it. We can be as mad at Caden Green and his family as you want to be. You can feel like, they didn't have integrity with the way things were handled, yada yada yada. Whatever. Like, okay. But like because a football player, an 18, 19-year-old and his family, like, decided to not tell whoever that they were leaving and then they go to Missouri closer to their home, that makes it okay for you to then go and literally try to mess with his livelihood. Like, I
Right.
just,
And I know somebody's going to jump in here and say, well, the IP addresses were from Missouri. I know what I certainly know it wasn't all Missouri fans that were doing it because that message boards geniuses tweet got like I don't know 3 million impressions, and the one from DryFit, the OU account, got like 2.8 million impressions.
he
So
said deserved. He said deserved.
deserve. So
Like,
so just assuming there's a bit of crossover there, let's call it 5 million people. 5 million people saw that at least OU fans were part of the problem. And it's, people want to say that Missouri fans were, they tracked down the IPs and they were posing as OU fans and this, that, and the other. Like, it's because it's believable because OU fans were supporting it online. Like they were defending it, they were laughing at it. There were some accounts that were on the same name as OU Twitter accounts, like the Oklahoman wrote a story about it. Like whether we like it or not, and whether a couple of them or 5 or 6 or whatever happen to be Missouri accounts, the problem is it's 100% believable that OU fans would do that because we are that crazy. So just channel that energy. You want to say SEC ready because you leave some bad reviews? No. SEC ready is showing up in the stadium, being loud on third down, being loud from kickoff all the way until the clock hits zeros. Like, show up and do your talking in the stadiums. Don't just go leave reviews and crack up. Like, actually show up. Show up on the road. When we go play Missouri, paint that thing crimson. Like, that's how you do your talking as a fan base, not by leaving reviews. That's not how you do your talking as a fan base.
right.
You do your talking at the stadium, supporting the team. So do that.
Yep.
Rant over. All right, let's move on.
Let's move on. We got an actual game to talk about. Finally. Next Thursday, Arizona faces OU in the Alamo Bowl. Arizona, were they 9-3, Trav, or were they also 10-2?
I think they're 9-3 because I think they started 3-3 and then won 6 straight. Am I mistaken there?
While I looked that up really quickly, what are some initial thoughts on this game, Travis? And have you found out? My question to you: has you found out if you're going to be able to come or not? You got to stay local.
They still haven't told me, so which it means is probably I'm staying local. But hey, last minute trip, crazier things have happened, man. crazier things have happened. So, and also, before I say my first point on the Alamo Bowl, I do Mitchell Kutcher in here, good buddy of mine. Met him at the College World Series in 2022. He's a Florida fan. So say your prayers for Mitch tonight. Still don't have a defensive line coach. Still don't have an offensive coordinator. Just had their inside linebackers coach poached away today by A&M. I think they had 10 decommitments in the class. I think they had 3 flips on signing day. Just pour one out for my buddy Mitch there. He's been going through it. He might be pouring one out right now. Who knows? But I think that the main storyline, especially from the OU side, it's very simple. JFA. Jackson Arnold's getting the practice with the one. He's that dude. I mean, Dylan even spoke about it, at length, talking about, hey, he's ready, he's talented, he was asking the right questions, he was helping answer some questions. Like, I think him getting a whole month, essentially a whole month with the ones, man, I think they're going to be in really good shape. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how Seth Littrell and Joe John Finley call this game and try and, I don't know, they're not going to call anything that they can't block. So offensive line's got to show out. Got to give Jackson some time, but I think he's going to tear it up, man. And the thing is, we've got to be realistic. And I know that's a tall order for any college football fan. It's a tall order, but we need to be realistic and fair. That if he goes out there and looks like a freshman, looks like a true freshman, in his first bowl game, like in his first start, if he looks like a freshman, so be it. He'll be fine. Like he's not going to. I mean, he may go out there and complete 85% of his passes for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. He may, but if he doesn't, let's relax because we've had many a quarterback here at Oklahoma not live up to the unrealistic standards at times, even though they may have throughout their career, and we hated them for it. So let's let this Jackson Arnold honeymoon make it past the bowl. That's all I ask.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think Jackson's going to be a beast, man, and he's had a month to practice, to get settled in on top of everything that he's been doing, sitting behind DG. And yeah, I think he's excited. Certainly, he's going to have some mistakes. He's a freshman, and so we can't expect him, I think, to come in and throw for 400 yards or something like that. But I think we can expect him to, be able to hit on some big plays, some different play actions. And I'm interested to see how, Seth Littrell, and Joe John Finley call their, Seth Littrell's calling the plays, but how he calls his first game as OU's offensive coordinator. This is also a chance for us to see that. Sometimes you have to wait until the spring game, right? And so we kind of get to see some pieces here early on of how he will, run a game, how he will manage a game. And it's not obviously going to be 100% everything he'll do next year, but certainly we can get a glimpse. And I think those are all things that we can look forward to. Gunny, I don't think the first game play is going to be a jet sweep. I don't know if we'll see many jet sweeps.
Who do you want it to be to if the first play is a jet sweep?
Brandon Thompson. 100%.
I like it.
100%. Now Arizona's got a little bit of they can score a little bit. So, I think it'll be a good task for our defense too. We get our All-Americans back, and so Billy and Danny will be playing in the game.
Our defense should be good. I mean,
is Gentry fully all
I
right?
know he's going to have surgery in the offseason. I'm not sure if he'll suit up for the bowl or not. I haven't heard, but to be honest, I haven't dug in. I need to reach out to Hauk so I can text him. Yeah. So, I mean, with our defense, it's you get a two-time all-conference guy playing in this game, a All-American playing at the next level, and another All-American playing at the next level. I mean, Ethan Downs gets some irrational hate
Yeah.
in the fan base, and I'm not sure why. I think it may be because he's just too nice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I think a lot of people kind of expect that kind of Danny Okoye nastiness to him. I think that's somewhat expected from the position, especially up front on the defense. But I think since he's such a good kid, so nice, like when it's very public, that persona. I think he gets treated slightly unfairly, but he was all conference last year. He was preseason all conference this year, our only one, and then he was all conference for the second year in a row. I think he's the only player on the entire roster that has made all conference 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
So with that, with him coming back, he has got an absolute shot to be an All-American next year. Because if you come off back-to-back all conferences, I know it's the Big 12 and we're moved to the SEC, you need those type of things. You know, you need a little bit of a reputation, right? And I think with him being in year 4, I think I mean, there's only what 4 recruits left from the Lincoln Riley era.
Mm-hmm.
You got Danny, Billy, Ethan, and Jaleel Farouk, right? Aren't those the only 4 basically?
I think so.
I could be wrong, but
Shane Whittier, so I guess he's still on the roster, isn't he?
yeah, that's true. Well, regardless, you've got 4 starters.
Yeah.
4 starters. So, yeah, those are the defensive core right there. It's going to mean so much in the SEC, and it's going to mean so much in this bowl game. I mean, them preparing together, preparing healthy. Danny hasn't been healthy all year.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't say all year. Danny hasn't been healthy the second half of the year, ever since Kansas. So, getting him, locked in, knowing he's going to be here next season, like that kind of stuff can also be on your mind, right? As much as you want to stay focused, it is very difficult if you've got to think about draft grade. You got to think about, your health. You got to think about, what your even your NIL options, for you, right? If you want to come back, like there's a lot that goes into the last game or two, probably just thinking. And if it's in your mind, like I know some of you are probably aware with decision fatigue. So it's the same reason that Steve Jobs wore the same exact thing every single day, is because the theory states that the more decisions you make, the worse you are at making them. So Steve Jobs thought, hey, how much is the average person thinking when they're just getting dressed in the morning? If I just eliminate that, then that's one less decision I have to make. So I will then theoretically be better at making more important decisions. Just the existence of the NFL looming. Do I leave early? What's my draft grade? What are scouts saying about me? Like that can distract you just with that fatigue. So Danny being locked in, Billy thinking the exact same thing, right? That being locked in, Ethan being back. I mean, that stuff matters, and I think they're gonna have a really good bowl game because of it.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And I love what you said about Ethan. I don't know why people are on him so much. I mean, he's not produced like a bunch of high sack numbers, but he's been effective. He's not been perfect, certainly. And I was as high on Ethan as anybody. I felt like he had a chance to be a high round draft pick. And, I don't know that that's going to happen. We'll see. But he's certainly, like you said, he's been all conference multiple times. Not much you can say.
Yeah, he's racking up some accolades. There's no doubt. So
yeah,
he's just got to continue doing it. But yeah, I think the defense will look good.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's get some score predictions out here. Trav, let's go ahead and start with yours, and we'll also hear from some of the people in the chat on score predictions.
Let's see. I'm gonna let the chat get after some score predictions here. And I am going to use that time to go check and see how many likes we have.
We got about 80 people in here, so everybody needs to go like it right now.
Should be 80 likes.
Like it up. Kirsten and Grace, you better like this. That's all I know.
Yeah, you got all the family in there. Family affair.
That's what I'm saying.
43 likes. Got to get them numbers up, folks.
Not enough. Come on, y'all.
All right, let's see. OU's on 50, 24, 27. Man. My dad comes with the OU win, Arizona loss. I like that.
Nice.
Hey, you play to win the game.
You do.
50. Woo. Jackson Arnold comes in and drops 50 on Arizona. We might be preseason top 10.
Yeah. 50 is nuts. I don't know. That's
If we win this bowl game, good. How high? What do you think our ranking is if we win this bowl game? What do you think our ranking is if we lose this bowl game going into next season? Because you know that can shape the narrative.
If we win, I feel like we would be a top 10 team. If we lose, I think we could be like late teens, maybe 20.
Yeah.
Especially because everybody's going to say, oh, they lost their whole offensive line. And they're going to be bringing in a new offensive line, relatively new quarterback, what have you. So I think we got to show out a little bit more. To be honest, I think the defense has got to even play better than the offense, because.
But see, the defense should play better than the offense in this game. I'm thinking you've got all your dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, your offensive line, they're patching it together. There's not a bona fide decided starting group as far as I know. Obviously, they want to get that locked in very soon, but I know a bunch of different guys have been rotating. Whew, man. Trap House making me hungry. That's exactly my order, too.
All flats, blue cheese, baby.
All flats with blue cheese?
Yes, sir. Come on.
Come on. Don't play with me. So, yeah, you get the whole defense out there. The offense, I think that's going to be the issue that we're going to have. I think the game is more likely, if OU has a big-ish win, I think the game's going to be closer to like a 28-10, something like that. I could see even like a 24-10 or something like 24-13. Because here's the thing. Jackson Arnold's that dude, but true freshman making his first start in a bowl game behind a makeshift offensive line, throwing to wide receivers that he hasn't really thrown to a ton. And tight end play is still in the air. Gavin Sawchuk is going to hopefully rush for his 5th straight 100-yard game. But it's like the offense has a ton of questions coming to this bowl game.
Yeah.
That I don't necessarily think are massive questions going into next year. But this bowl game with the opt-outs and everything like that could be tough. Could be tough. So I do think the defense, when we talk about this next week, I think the defense will lead the way in this game. I'm going to go 28-13.
Okay. I like it. I think I'm going to go with I'm going to go 35. to 21. Here's my score prediction.
35-21.
35-21. Yep. I think Arizona's definitely got a little firepower. And I hope, again, with a month, everybody fresh and healthy, that, we see a defense that can hold a team like that under, 2 scores. That'd be cool. But I'm throwing an extra touchdown in there for some leeway.
I'm just saying that 35 number. That's a lot of Jackson Arnold and new offensive line faith right there. I like it. Hey, I like it.
Hey, listen.
You spent all season picking Texas and OSU and everybody else.
Okay.
It's about time.
I
Get some confidence in our boys.
Don't you put that evil on me, Travis. I never chose Oklahoma State. That never came out of my mouth. Okay. I'm just saying. Never came out of my mouth. But yeah, we'll see. But I think that, Jackson may be able to give us a little bit, in the run game as well as the pass game, and maybe he tears it up. I think there's an opportunity for there. And I don't think 35 points is crazy. I mean, if I said 50, that's crazy to me, but I think 35 is reasonable. You could throw a defensive touchdown in there too. Maybe Billy gets another pick six or something like that. But
hey, I'll take it. Maybe Trace Ford finally gets his.
Yeah, that'd be nice. But yeah, I think we do win. I'm going to be there. I'm excited. I am going to be in San Antonio next week. A week from yesterday, actually, is when I will be there Wednesday night and then stay through Friday afternoon. So those of you who are going, hit your boy up when I'm down there. Say what's up to me at the bowl. I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good time. But let's get this dub. Let's do it. Get out here with an 11-2 season. Something to be super, super proud of. Obviously, didn't go through how we wanted it to, but finish 11-2 is pretty good in the second year after going 6-7.
Hey, 11-2 sounds a hell of a lot better than 10-3.
Yes, it does.
So I want to touch on the Casey Thompson stuff real quick before we get going, because I believe it was reported by OU Insider. Actually, that might be behind a paywall. But theoretically, if Oklahoma were to want Casey Thompson, I believe it would be a preferred walk-on situation. I'm just not – I don't know. My opinion probably differs from the coaching staff on this, but I'm not interested in a seventh-year Casey Thompson, fresh off an ACL, that's going to miss spring ball, being the backup. Like, we have Michael Hawkins Jr., who is practicing today with the team. We've got Brennan Zurbrugg, who broke basically every record in Ohio, it felt like. He's an early enrollee, so he'll be here for spring ball. Michael Hawkins Jr. obviously here for spring ball. And then General Booty ran scout team all year. He's going into his third year at Oklahoma. And you've got Davis Bevel, who's going into his third year at Oklahoma. So Casey Thompson has been more prolific than all of those guys combined in their college careers. But I don't know why you don't let those four guys compete for the starting job. Because if you bring in Casey and say, hey, he's the backup, even though he didn't play all spring, and he's fresh off an ACL, and he didn't have an offensive line last year, but he still threw 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and just flat out, his only 2 games against anybody not named Monmouth, he threw 0 touchdowns, and I think like 3 or 4 picks combined. So I don't know. And I also don't know what it does. What does that do to Michael Hawkins and Brennan Zurbrugg? I know they're not leaving. They're early enrollees. But you're stacking another quarterback on top of them. Then you might lose General Booty in the spring if something like that happens. And I know I don't want to lose General Booty, that's for sure. So I don't know. I don't think, I don't know. I know the coaching staff probably feels differently about this, but I think you let those 4 guys battle it out and not go with the guy that you're just hoping is back from his ACL near the end of spring. You're hoping. You don't know these things. It's an ACL.
Yeah.
You have no idea how the rest of his rehab is going to go. So, all right, since Sooner Cowboys putting it all out there, I was trying to be a little bit coy. Yes. Yes, he had the choice to go to the XFL or transfer, go into their XFL draft. And I don't know. Like I said, the coaching staff probably differs. They probably want him. I just wish we would take the 4 quarterbacks we already have and let them fight it out for the backup job.
Yeah. We got a lot.
Because sure. Casey Thompson does not have a future at the University of Oklahoma.
Nope.
We have at least
be a backup.
We have at least 2 quarterbacks that have a future at the University of Oklahoma. Brendan Zurbrugg and Michael Hawkins Jr. are going to be on this roster. So, considering that you have another dude in 2025 coming, like I don't want to throw another quarterback into the mix and be like, oh, hey, we went and got a backup. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know that, like I said, the staff feels differently about that, and that's fine. If he joins the team, I will absolutely support him. But it's the same thing I keep saying about all of the bringing in a backup transfer portal quarterback with experience. If he was that good, he'd go start somewhere. Like, I don't know. Everybody was more than fine with Jackson Arnold being the backup last year, right?
Yeah.
Weren't most people like thinking he should start over Dylan Gabriel?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to be very impressed with Michael Hawkins Jr. He's got a special skill set. So we're going to go from 1 year saying that a freshman should start over one of the most accomplished quarterbacks in college football history to now saying we've got to bring in a guy fresh off an ACL tear in his 7th year that theoretically does not have options to start anywhere. Like, I don't know. He's probably a Sooner, but I would love for Hawkins to get that role. Or Zurbrugg. What if he could show out as well. Or General Booty that's been running the scout team for 3 years or for 2 years, going into year 3. Like, Jackson Arnold had 0 snaps, and everybody wanted to bench Dylan Gabriel for him. So let's at least have a little bit of consistency, folks.
I'm saying, man.
Yeah, experience. Cool.
What'd you say?
Jackson Arnold had no experience, and everybody wanted him in.
Yep.
His experience last year was 3 games before he tore his ACL, and he threw him 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Like, I understand what experience is. But Dylan Gabriel's got a bunch of it, and everybody was willing to run him out the door for a true freshman. Oh, he's a generational talent. Okay. You've seen him play much college football? Or are we just going off his high school film? Oh, okay. Look, I'm a big Jackson Arnold guy. There's no doubt about it.
We both are, but you
can't talk out both sides of your mouth. You can't say that you prioritize experience so much that you want a 7th-year guy coming off an ACL that's going to miss spring ball to play because you prioritize experience so much, but then wanted to get the Jackson Arnold experience started halfway through his true freshman year.
Let's be real.
Like, we got to at least let him play a couple games. Generational talent is a phrase used for Adrian Peterson.
It gets thrown out every year. We need to stop doing it. We need to say like
Caleb Williams would have been drafted first overall after his sophomore year in college.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's again, yeah, the term generational talent, it's wild.
We need to say like every 5 years or something like that.
The definition of a generational talent is it comes along once a generation.
Yep. We got too many.
You can't have a generational talent every year. You can't have multiple generational talents every year.
Yep. Like Marvin Harrison Jr., generational talent. I think
he was. I mean, Hartline was telling people that he was better than anybody, that he was the best wide receiver in the room, and that wide receiver room had 2 first-round picks in it.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave and Jackson Smith and Jigba was still in that room.
Yep. And he was the youngest. And he was saying
he was the youngest, and he said, that's our best guy. So when you're in a room full of first-round picks and they say that's the guy, that's a generational talent.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, hey, General Booty's got a lot of experience in college. You know, Davis Bevel's got a lot of experience in college. Should we have gotten what's his face? JT who's the guy that's played for like 8 different teams?
JT Daniels.
Yeah, JT Daniels. We should sign JT Daniels because he's played a lot of college football. I don't know. I know this. I know that this is a tangent of mine, and I'm being unfair. I get that. I can understand that I'm being unfair and saying, look, bring him on. Preferred walk-on, bring him on. Let him fight for the backup job. But we're throwing out generational talent. We're throwing out experience matters, except for when your true freshman is an alleged generational talent. Like, is what it is.
Yeah. Malachi Nelson. Okay, PG. Here we go.
Yes, Greg, I would take General Booty, who's been in this system for 2 years, and he's not coming off a fresh ACL tear in year 7.
Yeah, that's
the part that that's the part I'm mostly lost on.
Is he 25?
If he was healthy and he was going to run through spring ball and he was practicing in the bowl, you know, or what, he can't practice in the bowl because he's a transfer. But you get what I'm saying. If he was going through winter workouts and he was going through spring ball and everything like that, no. He's going to be recovering from an ACL going through PT. And guess what? What if he doesn't heal appropriately? What if he doesn't quite get back to, you know, where he was, you know, can't plant that foot like he wants it? Like, yeah, I'd rather take the healthy guy that's going into year 3 in our system over the guy that is in his 7th year coming off a fresh ACL that's going to miss spring. That, I don't know. Just
he's downgraded. He's downgraded every single, like, Texas, Nebraska, Florida Atlantic. What? Yeah, let's just end it there because I'm sorry.
I don't want Hawkins to miss out on reps. Like, if we're up big, and I want Hawkins running out there.
Yeah.
Like, if we go up big against whoever, you know, next year in the non-con, we're up 30, 35 or whatever in the 4th quarter. Like,
I mean, he would
put Michael Hawkins in. Do not put Casey Thompson in.
He would be QB4. What's the point?
Well, I get the point. He can be a preferred walk-on. He can go to school here. He can have his pro day here. Like, he can still show out. He can learn the system, all that kind of stuff. But, like, I don't want to, in late game situations, I don't want to rob, or in like blowout situations, I don't want to rob reps from our young guys that we want to develop. Like, we took 2 quarterbacks in this class for a reason. If you're going to bring in an experienced backup, why do you get 2 quarterbacks in this class?
Yeah.
That's the whole point. That's why you brought 2 quarterbacks in, for depth.
Yeah.
So now next year comes around, right? Okay, we got Jackson Arnold, starter. Now you got Michael Hawkins, who sat maybe behind Casey Thompson, his 3rd string. You got Brendan Zerbrug. And then you've got Kevin Sperry coming in. Now you go, Jackson Arnold leaves, and now none of them have any experience because we took a whole year of backup play and gave it to a guy that it is not part of OU's grand design in the future. So, anyways, man, my rant extended the trap house. Get out of here. Some say Hawkins. Stop it. He might be, but I'll tell you what, we won't know it until he's played a couple games in college.
Hey, some say Arch Manning is a generational talent.
Yep. Arch Manning, generational talent.
So, but all right, guys, we're gonna head out a little bit early. Your boy has been up since like 5, and I'm dragging. So I appreciate y'all being in here with us, man. Next week's gonna be fun. We will we'll have to talk about what we're gonna do. We may not just do a show since we're gonna play, obviously. And I don't know if we'll be able to do it early, but
shout out Double Team, Shop Double Team. Got the gold trim boomer hat on the back.
It's nasty. Look at it.
It says Max Bet.
Yes.
So this is Heat. This is Reddy, our walk-on kicker. He has this clothing company with his sister. He does it to help pay for his school. So check out shopdoubleteam.com, folks.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Love y'all. Hope y'all have a great time with family. And let's get this done next week. Boomer. Oh.